What's up, guys? Rarity Games here. As always, Eric and our boy Chris.
What's up?
Hanging out, hitting up that podcast. Want to bring you guys all the news and just have a good convo and find out what we've been playing. So, what have you been up to lately, Chris? What have you been playing?
I've kind of been bouncing around a little bit everywhere. Fortnite has been having a Batman event.
You hopped in?
Yes, I have. My friends have been playing, so I got the "Hey, where you at?" text. So I hopped in and I've been running through Fortnite. So that's been pretty fun. They made kind of one of the main areas, Tilted Tower, turned it into
Gotham City. Yeah, I thought that was awesome.
They have some cool like grapple glide weapons, batarangs that explode. It's a nice little way to keep that game fresh. They constantly keep updating it over and over again, and it's monotonous at times, but it's real easy to jump in and jump out, and that's kind of the awesomeness of that game.
Did you hear? All right, so two things about Fortnite before we go on to your next thing. First off, I saw someone dancing as Batman in front of the roses where his parents died, and that was real fucked up, but real fucking funny that it exists.
Yeah,
literally Fortnite emotes in front of Batman's parents' grave.
that more or less makes the comment on Fortnite memes.
Yes, and then did you see they're adding? There's a possibility of them adding bots for newbies. Because they have the ranked system going on now for the most part. They're talking about adding bots.
They have been testing zones where they have zombies in the game constantly as kind of like a PvE little bit of a thing. And you kill the zombies, you get shields, you drop items. Like, it's a nice little grind, and I like this time around, rather than have it being the whole map, they made it like a particular zone or a particular area.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. It wouldn't surprise me that they add like a third mode, because that already exists as like a single player 4-person campaign game, as you and I, Eric, are both very aware.
The world, if they made it free, people would actually play it. But.
Yes, I think they also, the save the world part, they need to totally finish and launch.
Yeah.
It went through an update a couple months ago, kind of redid the whole UI, streamlined a lot of stuff, the huge branching trees that Eric and I experienced early in the game as a super beta.
Oh, man. All right. Yeah. Enough of Fortnite.
Anyway.
So been bouncing back and forth between Fortnite and Gears, I imagine?
I'm still playing some Gears every once in a while. I'm just about done that game. I kind of just can't bring myself to finish the campaign. Not because I don't necessarily want to, but every time I hop in, I either run through some verses with just some randoms, or I have a friend and we run through Horde. So
fair enough.
That's fun. One last thing that I have been playing is I got a little bit more No Man's Sky. I think I mentioned last time I started playing some No Man's Sky. There's an initial attraction to that game of the gather, craft, elements thing that I really have that like Fallout itch being scratched for like some of the crafting systems and some of the base of the game. But in a very Fallout 76 way that I didn't necessarily like at the launch of the game. It feels a very empty universe. There's a lot of cool, like, local animal and plant life and, like, random stuff. But outside of just little random things or big random things, it doesn't particularly feel like, at least to me in the early stage of the game, I just hit space.
It seemed kind of... It gets boring unless you're with a couple people running around having some fun. It doesn't seem.
I got the feeling that it almost was designed as another game and they couldn't get the IP for it. Like, it felt like an amazing Star Trek
one way to
game
describe
to
it.
It felt like a great Star Trek game. The whole, like, I'm going to start off with nothing but these 2 super advanced tools and I'm going to build a universe and do anything.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And it felt very Star Trek to go explore and meet new people and talk and catalog.
Yeah, I mean, it's a game that needed to exist. Put it that way. There was not a game out there like it. I mean, there were similar things, but that specific game needed to exist.
And I get into these very interesting loops where, like, sometimes I'll do something that's very random and very rewarding, or sometimes I'll start to do a series of things that's random and incredibly pointless. Mm-hmm. And it's a coin toss as to which of those two things you're going to get. So if you just have bad luck, you get 3 or 4 different events or directional places you want to go with it, and nothing happens, nothing's going on, and then it turns out, I just wasted an hour and I didn't do anything, and I don't feel like I accomplished anything.
Yep. Didn't even get no missions, no nothing. I got some more minerals and
worst case
some
scenario,
material.
I just circled the globe and burned a bunch of fuel.
Worst case scenario. Yeah.
So it's not bad, but it definitely has dry spots.
As I've heard. So I've been playing a lot of Control, which is great. I love that game. Still going headstrong in that. Trying to record every bit of it now, just because I've been enjoying it. So I'm sure you guys know I've been playing Control. And I've been I actually bought Spyro the Dragon as one of my you know what, I'm gonna lay down, I'm gonna get ready for bed. I've been wanting this game. It was $20. I hopped in. I'm gonna 100% the crap out of it and get all 3 platinums, because there's 3 platinums in the trilogy. So
a fun chill game.
I gave myself a goal, and that's where I'm going. So and then for the most part, that's pretty much been what I'm doing. I played a whole lot of the Call of Duty open beta this weekend, though. Okay. That game is way better than I thought it was going to be.
Really?
I was very surprised.
Graphically, mechanically, all of the
that's
above?
a given. The graphically and the mechanics, it's going to feel decent. At least it's going to look great. It's a Call of Duty game. It's still gonna have certain features no matter what. But there's a certain smoothness in the deeper detail when it comes to the way it feels, and this has that OG Modern Warfare feeling in a way. Okay. I'm not gonna say that for sure, because there's some major changes that stop certain play styles from happening the way they used to. Okay. I'm going to get into this a lot more in a video in the future, I believe, because I recorded a lot of gameplay, and the systems are really interesting. So I'm really happy with how this game turned out. I actually might end up getting another Call of Duty game, even though I always say after every other I buy, I'm done with Call of Duty.
That's impressive. It managed to turn you around.
Back around.
You were having fun with World War II, but that was then had its time frame of
it was a great game. I had so much fun with it, and then I'm just people stop. My close friends will stop playing for the most part, and then they change stuff too often to make me want to keep playing, because I have to stay up to date on all the changes and guns, and I could have one favorite gun for 1 week. I don't want to get too much into this, but I could have one favorite gun for 1 week, and then the next week that gun is the worst gun in the game, and it's what is happening? Why are you making all these changes?
Even more hyper balance, or trying to be hyper balanced than a Fortnite or an Apex.
Yeah, and I've said this a million times about games. You need to. There's a certain extent that the developers need to stay true to what their concept was. The players should more believe in what this developer wants to give you. This kind of gun game, they want it to feel a certain type of way. So why... I get that there's certain things that have to be changed once 1 million people get their hands on the game. Okay. Yes, of course. I'm all for updates. But when the core of the game is getting changed on a bi-monthly basis, because of player outcry, it's is that really the game the developers wanted anymore, or is it something else?
Well, I think you could argue that game hasn't been what the developers wanted for a very long time.
Well, in the aspects of Call of Duty, yes, but this I'm talking in a more broad sense for the most part. It's when you change your game too much.
I
agree with
you, but I was just talking about specifically Call of Duty.
Yeah, and that was my issue with it, and that's what I'm worried about still happening. Because even through the beta, they had 3 or 4 updates, even though that is what a beta's for.
Totally.
I'm not gonna hate on that concept, but I'd really like to see a Call of Duty game that comes out true to the devs that made it. They're no, guys, this is what we wanted. The M4 in real life does have this kind of stopping power. It does have this kind of stuff. So if you pick an M13 versus the M4, this has this benefit and this has that. I'm not going to change it 100 times. That's my thought.
I 100% agree with you, but here's kind of the caveat about that. You said, it feels buttery, it looks great, it's got all that wonderful Call of Duty stuff to it. So that was very reassuring to hear, because was not this one the one that ended up being rushed? Didn't this get bumped up and turned around?
It was quiet. put it that way. You didn't hear much about it up until a few months ago. Nobody knew there was definitely going to be a Call of Duty game.
I thought, at least this is the rumors I was hearing, that one ended up getting bumped up in the order. That it was supposed to be another year or another 9 months on top of that they had to develop this.
And they threw other teams, like from Treyarch teams and stuff,
and
in there.
They got shuffled around in the order, and then it's coming out sooner than anticipated. That being said, I think this might be where we're starting to see some of those not quite 100% polished things, because it is coming out maybe a little bit sooner than once. That's not necessarily a bad thing, and they're a great studio, and they'll be able to probably lock it down by launch. But to have it to the point where it's just out and then it's perfect, or not perfect, but to the developer's vision like they wanted it, I think they would have needed the extra time that maybe they didn't necessarily get because
and that brings
business reasons.
Yeah, and that brings me back to what I said with I'm so surprised that I liked this game. Like I said, I knew there was weird situations going on in the background with it. The fact that it wasn't really talked about until it was, hey, it's coming in a couple months.
Well, not only that, but once people actually started to experience it, the single player, they're saying, is serious in a way that
story-wise,
it warrants it more to take notice than you have in previous generations. Yeah. Like, people might not have played Call of Duty in like 5 or 6 years, and then all of a sudden they go, oh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
I remember
it was nice to see that coming out of there. When I didn't, for me personally, I was like, I don't really care to see this game come out. Don't really want to bother with it. And then I was like, oh, open beta, might as well try it, might as well talk about it, see how it is. Cool. And I hopped in and enjoyed it, dude. I was doing horrible in the first couple matches, and then I started dropping 20, 30 kill games over and over, like 15 deaths, 30 kills. I'm like grinding.
You were always a solid Call of Duty player. You would get some runs. So
my buddy Colin was like, dude, give it a couple games, you'll be fine. I was like, dude, I don't know. I haven't played Call of Duty in a while. I'm doing pretty bad. And then he was like, trust me. And I'm like, all right. And then a couple games later, I'm killing it. I'm like, dude, you had more faith in me than I did. And I was like, I'm so surprised right now. I'm destroying people. I'm glad I captured a lot of footage of that too. So it's gonna be cool to see later.
So pretty much Spyro and the Call of Duty beta.
This weekend, yes, yeah. I haven't even gotten a piece of Control recorded. I was pulled away with all that and doing a few other things.
Cool. Yeah. Well, one of the big things that happened recently was the PlayStation 4 State of Play, correct?
Yeah. I'm sure all of you guys have heard. I've been talking about it. I'm so excited about it, and all the Last of Us 2 little drops on Instagram and Twitter.
So to break it down,
been a lot
for me, the person who did not get the chance to watch it. So tell me what happened. You said Last of Us got a trailer. Did they get a date?
So there wasn't too much. This is the thing, like, leading up to it, I think a lot of people had a lot more expectations than, what we got. Not regarding The Last of Us. We knew that what it was, and there's a separate event going on that journalists are going to get hands-on with
they were
Last
saying
of Us
that there's going to be a thing coming up.
Yes, so the State of Play was to coincide with that, to show the public, hey, here's another trailer. Guess what? It's coming out now.
It's like,
and then behind closed doors, we got journalists talking to people.
It's like the big media blitz, like the coming out announcement.
Yeah, in a couple days, we'll be hearing a lot more about that and have more information. I plan on doing a separate video alone on the State of Play and the beta and a lot of other things that I've had a chance to see recently. I had a few things from the actual State of Play here. A ton of VR games were announced originally, Chris. They had quite a few of them, and then they had a new PS4 Pro and controller for Death Stranding, and it looked awesome. Like,
really?
White PS4 Pro, all white, and then it has 2 black handprints on it for the Death Stranding, and
Norman
then
Reedus, baby.
The controller is just gold and transparent. You can kind of see through and see the mechanics inside the controller, and it's a gold controller. I was like, that looks dope, and it's a weird combo but it matches the aesthetic of the game, and it's like, I thought that was really cool looking. And then they gave us a PlayStation Plus sneak peek. As you mentioned to me earlier, you were like, "Damn, you're getting MLB 19? Yeah, that's crazy." Yeah, so they've had this thing going on with MLB for a while. They have the show 19 coming out. And I mentioned this to a friend earlier today. I was like, oh, yeah, Last of Us 2 announcement's coming. He's saying to me, what do you think the PlayStation Plus games are going to be next month? I'm hoping for some good ones. I was like, well, we got really good ones this month. So I'm thinking along the lines of something, that PlayStation has on lockdown, and then Last of Us Remastered, the original. And sure enough, I was right. It's there, Last of Us Remastered. And then they showed off a little more medieval gameplay. The remaster for that.
Is that supposed to be coming this fall?
Yes, very soon. And they dropped a demo. And
okay.
So there's a demo for that to play, and you get like a couple exclusive items if you play the demo.
Which is funny because that's how I experienced the original Medieval. Is I just had the demo of like the first 2 or 3 levels.
I think
I just played it over and over and over.
Dude, I think that's their tactic with the nostalgia thing, because Greg Miller from Kind of Funny mentioned the same thing. He's like, oh yeah, I played a demo at like a store, and like I remember that experience, and I liked the game enough from that, and like he was like, I'm excited to see this game come out. Yep. And like I think a lot of people only got a demo disc or something like that to try this game, that's like part of the nostalgia. Let's drop a demo.
It was a big push on like PlayStation Magazine. I remember it was on their like CD you would get.
Yep. I thought that was a cool idea on their part. And Civilization, you mentioned this to me. It's coming to PlayStation, but not just PlayStation apparently. As you mentioned to me, it's coming to Xbox One as well.
Yeah, it's going to be on Xbox as well, which I'm very excited for. I have it on other platforms already, and I'll be buying it again.
Yeah, you're a nutcase. And then back to The Last of Us, of course. Last of Us Part 2 got a legitimate announcement for the date, and it is February 21st, 2020. So a lot sooner than a lot of people expected.
Wow, but that's cramming an already crowded spring even
They're getting in early, though.
Crowded.
I'll give them credit, because nobody's hit January or February yet. Everybody's marching after. So they are getting in first, actually, for the big games.
We gotta stop and look what's Bandai Namco doing, because don't they love dropping...
yeah, but I'm talking those games.
That and Capcom, they love that, like, January, February, early post, like, Western world.
It comes a lot out of the Japanese companies. They do that. The early year, late winter. Square Enix has done that plenty of times. You see them coming in with March for Final Fantasy. So I'm pretty sure Final Fantasy 7 and Last of Us 2 are the closest to each other. But a lot of people were expecting a lot more. A lot of people were talking about Batman news coming out of the State of Play.
So, one more time, that was February what now?
21st.
Okay. So, if that's February 21st, we have Cyberpunk on April 16th.
Yeah.
And Avengers on May 15th.
And that's not, I just said, March is Final Fantasy 7. That is the closest.
Oh, boy.
Yes. Like I said, they got out first. Last of Us 2 snuck it in there because they've been working on that for a while now. And they snuck it in there in February.
So, that being said, if they're dropping arguably their last big PS4 game,
Final Fantasy 7.
Well,
in a weird way.
Yes, but say Final Fantasy 7.
Yeah, I got you.
It's all spring stuff. They're bringing out everything that we have left, assumed that PlayStation has.
And I think they're tapped out after that until PS5.
I think it's possible we could hear a PS5 teaser announcement.
Early summer, late spring.
I would say fall, personally.
Oh, next fall.
This
fall?
Yeah.
No.
You don't think?
After the exclusives. They're going to let everyone chill and enjoy their games. Dude, PlayStation has been sitting back in their comfy seat and relaxing on YouTube. Literally all they do is post videos on YouTube to back the people they support.
I think they would do, maybe not necessarily like an announcement or something big, but I think we would see like a hype trailer or like one of those dev style, like behind the doors interviews where they're just talking about specs. Like they had Mark Cerny talk to the paper, and they got about like the SSDs and all the cool tech stuff that we talked about before. I could totally see them just bringing out like a 2 or 3 minute hype video and maybe just showing a box, just showing a picture of a form factor and not even discussing it, just being like, oh, last 3 seconds, here's a still shot of this box and half shadowed light in the distance.
Yeah, they've been playing a lot of weird back end things. That's what they're doing with the Last of Us event. They're just going, oh, here's a trailer. But on the background, all these journalists are behind closed doors right now doing their thing, and they're gonna pull the same.
I think they're also still trying to like stoke the fires for the hype wagon.
Yeah, exactly. They're getting they did this a lot. They've been poking certain journalists. They're like, oh, you got a pretty good following here. You take this info, and then they just watch it spread like wildfire. Because one person writes an article about it, everyone else, such as ourselves, has something to say about it.
Sony usually does pretty good with hype.
Dude, and it goes that way with everything, though. They're smart. They're just changing their tactics. They're not spending a bunch of money to get info out. They're just dropping little leads here and there, and they're good to go.
So, speaking of rumors, you were saying what was one of the other things that I said?
The Batman Court of Owls theory. I don't really know if it's going to be called Court of Owls because there's also a lot of other symbols regarding in this situation.
I was going to say, so was it it wasn't a trailer, it was some kind of image?
Look up Batman WB Montreal's tweet, and you should be able to see the images pop up for that. There is multiple images that popped up from a tweet that WB Games Montreal posted. They did a video saying happy 80th anniversary to Batman, and they there we go, right there. There's the images right there. Hold on, let me pull this up for you guys. So these are the images that were in the other trailer. There was originally a secret images in just a bat logo.
So the one definitely looked like the Ra's al Ghul symbol, the demon's head.
This one, not that one. That one's the Court of Owls. You see it? The mask. It's the Court of Owls mask in the middle, right there.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out what the other one is.
I don't know what the
League of Assassins?
is. Maybe
I think it might be
that
the League of Assassins.
Okay. I didn't research that other symbol, but I knew those two. They're a little different. They got their own little swag on them. But this was posted originally in a video of a building with the Batlet symbol on it, like with the light. Mm-hmm. And WB's Montreal hasn't posted a tweet in 4 years. The last tweet they had was in 2015, and it was a job listing saying, hey guys, want to come work for WB Games Montreal? So, like, kind of weird, right? 4 years ago, they're asking people, scroll down a little bit, just real quick. Hold on, I just want to look at the one tweet. See some interesting psychological, hold on, wait. Oh, they're not there, where is it? They were asking people, I read last night on their Twitter, but now you're just getting a bunch of retweets and stuff, but they were asking people to come work for WB Games Montreal. They were saying, hey, what's up? 4 years ago, 3-4 years ago, and then now that tweet was the first thing they posted in 4 years. And look, you'll see it flash.
Well, and not to loop back to Fortnite, but they've been pushing the spotlights with the Batman logo in Fortnite as well.
Mm-hmm. So, and there's been a lot of Batman talk recently, and so Zack Snyder retweeted this tweet last night, the writer of a lot of these comic books, including Court of Owls. And
Zack Snyder's the director.
Yes. No, so sorry, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So he posted it and hashtagged "Beware the Court of Owls" when no one was really supposed to know that logo was in there yet, and they made him delete it. He deleted it in like 30 seconds, and people got screenshots of it, of course.
So those who don't know, the Court of Owls is an awesome little mini-series when they rebooted the DC Universe a couple years ago in the New 52, and it adds a nice little weird culty like organization that runs Gotham secretly, and it's pretty awesome. I'm not going to ruin the story for anybody, but it's absolutely worth a read for anybody that likes Batman. Awesome story concept. That's an exciting game. They were rumoring
possibility.
They were rumoring arguably that since Affleck wasn't going to be Batman anymore in the DC movies, that whoever the new Batman was going to be was going to do a Court of Owls movie.
So this could be a thing too.
It could also be they're going to have the game first, and then the movie might take off where the game ends, or might just be a parallel or something. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's interesting.
There's a lot, and it's just cool that the pieces kind of been dropping recently. Mm-hmm. There's been stuff on Reddit, and like you've been seeing a lot of stuff, and then of course the Fortnite thing, and then we got PlayStation dropping one of the Batman games as a free game this month. You got Epic Games Store releasing the original Batman games. Like, there's been a lot of Batman talk, and it's obviously because of the anniversary as well. But it was almost a really nice lead up to a new game, especially when WB Games Montreal, the people who made Origins, are tweeting for the first time in 4 years.
Yeah,
that is a pretty obvious, like, hey guys, look over here.
Well, and not only that, but going off of that, what you and I were discussing is there's a particular run in the comics where Batman goes missing for a while, and everybody kind of in his orbit, like Nightwing and Robin and all that kind of stuff, people come out and they try and like protect Gotham and try and step up to be the next Batman. So I could totally see the game being that, where you get to choose a character of like one of 4 types to start off with, and one might be a little bit more acrobatic and distance based,
different skill based,
different move sets and skills. Yeah, so I totally think that could happen. I think that would be fantastic from
that style. And like you said, there was leaks a while ago regarding that there may be a Damian Wayne game, and so that could coincide with this thought process.
There was some sketchy phone camera looking video floating around on the web like maybe a year or so ago of Damian Wayne kind of doing like rough acrobatics on some kind of like castle or stone based level. So it's very possible that might have been a leak. Or
and what time frame was this again?
About a year ago. So it's possible it might have been some early alpha stuff that somebody took that they weren't supposed to, that people said was debunked, and then it wasn't that, but here we are, you know.
Because it isn't
WB
that.
Montreal.
It's not a Damian Wayne game. It's Damian Wayne in a Batman game.
You never know. You never know.
It's really interesting stuff. There's a lot to it, and I was saying to you earlier, like that could be an awesome concept of a game, and people were thinking that State of Play was going to drop some info about it today, and the fact that Inside Xbox also had a thing today, that maybe it would be a good timing for them both to say something, and not so much.
Well, and not only that, but if they're starting to tease something now, maybe we'll get a trailer at Game Awards.
That's my thought process.
Jeff
I
Keighley
literally tagged Barrett Courtney from Kind of Funny Games in a post right after the State of Play, and I said, so Batman at the Game Awards? And because my man was freaking out on Kind of Funny yesterday, because he's like so happy to see a Batman game coming, and he didn't get nothing.
Well, and Kind of Funny,
he got some tweets.
Kind of Funny and him did that stream Let's Play where he ran through Arkham Asylum in like 5 hours or 5.5 hours.
He's a huge
or something,
fan. So it was just, I've been enjoying going along with the ride with him. Like, all right, I'll bite. I'll see what's up. Well, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping.
Not only that, but something that also from a business standpoint makes sense is all of those games, City, Origins, and Night. Thank you. The third one or fourth one. They're all on Game Pass. And they all popped up on Game Pass fairly recently.
And so Epic Games also just released all those games, like I said. And
when stuff like that happens and the back catalog gets updated or pushed out again, or like, oh, hey, let's make some brand awareness for this again. How you remember how awesome those games are,
What
guys?
did Epic Games just do for Borderlands? Oh, wait, Borderlands 3's coming to the Epic Games Store? Oh, wait, we got this game called Fortnite. Oh, wait, let's do a Rift and make part of Borderlands part of Fortnite. Oh, all right, now Epic Games also just picked up all the Batman games. That's interesting. Oh, wait. There's a Batman mode in Fortnite now doing the same thing with the Rift?
Yep.
It's like there's a lot of... we got like every piece to the puzzle except the announcement.
It makes you want to have like a board and some strings and like make a conspiracy theory.
That's what I'm saying. And that's what, like, there's like 20 strings and then there's loose ends all going to the middle waiting for the announcement. Like, but it's right there. So we're going to see something. And the fact that they tweeted again showing the full images, because before it was screenshots of that video. Mm-hmm. And with each one of the images screenshotted. Now they released an actual video of all 4 images in a rotation. So
well, and not only that, the only thing we can definitely say for certain is it's not a Superman game. Sorry, Greg Miller.
Sorry, Greg Miller. No Superman game for you. I was talking to my buddy about Superman games and Flash today. I was like, But how? Like, I know
Well,
there's ways to do
So
it.
the Flash kind of stuff they did okay in DC Universe Online. You could
Yes.
like run fast and punch fast and run up sides of buildings and stuff, and it was a good concept. It was something that you could play. You know what I mean? It wasn't perfect
And that's-
representation because the Flash does all kinds of crazy power stuff, but
Yes.
it was good. It was
But
good.
that's what I was trying to explain to him. I was like, look, you can do it, but it doesn't mean it would be a great game. Because it's like there's a certain point where it's like you're too powerful to make the game like fun, and you're not. And if you make them not powerful enough, the fans will hate you for not making him
So,
powerful enough. So it's
I
like a
think-
really hard.
I think they should go really hard with it, and I think they should go in the opposite direction, where you're like almost One Punch Man.
Dark.
You can destroy everything in the universe with one punch, and your goal is how little damage you do, not how much
to the
to the
buildings.
world,
Wow.
to everything. How
I dig
quickly
you-
can
I-
you
I dig
defeat
that.
How quickly can you defeat bank robbers?
That is a whole different genre of game right there.
Without harming civilians, without blowing out building stuff, because you can like real easy just like slip up on a keypad and just fly into the side of a building and fly right through.
Rip through it, dude.
And
That
then-
would feel so weird.
I think that
like-
would be a brilliant game idea, but B, then you could mod it. And like you can think about some of the destructive scores you could get for when people if they do
Yeah.
like a PvE,
Yeah.
almost like Crackdown wanted to.
That'd be a hard game to make,
'Cause
though, dude.
Crackdown-
A whole city with the completely destructible environments.
Crackdown tried to do it in that way, but they tried to do it in an online multiplayer environment.
Oh,
I don't
I know.
think you should
I'm
do it
digging
in
it.
an online multiplayer
No,
environment.
by yourself,
I think
all
you should
you.
do it in single player,
Yeah.
and you should take that like thing that Crackdown tried to do, and they did it okay. It was not bad. I played all the way through Crackdown 3. I enjoyed it. It wasn't great, but it was like, it was good. It was like Jack in the Box, fast food. It wasn't, but it was good.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, there's so
that's the Superman game. Too
yeah,
overpowered.
and we pretty much broke down a lot of the Batman stuff. So I'm inside Xbox, as we mentioned, also had an event today.
Yes, isn't that funny how they just had them announced simultaneously at around the same
There's
point?
been a lot of snuggliness with the Xbox and the Sony franchises.
Xbox said there would be one at the end of this month, but they didn't really say when, and it's just interesting.
The
So,
exact day.
The big news we're going to start off with right off the bank is a xCloud announcement that the early beta, is going to be starting in October. With that, let me see.
Ooh, that's
Yeah.
dude. What is up with this recently? This trend of being like, "Hey guys, our thing's here
So
next month."
the internal beta for them, Microsoft employees, apparently has been going on for a while. So now they're rolling it out to a select group of the public. Some of the info is going to be you need an Android device to start with. There didn't say anything about iOS, but one would assume they're eventually going to come to iOS. The problem is Apple usually likes to take a cut of some kind of money and fees, and I don't know how Microsoft is going to work that one out, but they're Microsoft. They'll figure it out because they have to.
I'm listening. Let me go grab
Next is it has Bluetooth 4.0 requirements, and you have to have obviously an Xbox controller that has Bluetooth on it, which is one of the newer style within the past, I want to say year, 18 months, something like that.
Yeah.
The cool thing they announced is the service is going to be in that early access beta period with a couple games. You're going to have Halo 5, Gears 5, which just came out, Sea of Thieves, and Killer Instinct, the fighting game. So if you look, pretty much all those games except Sea of Thieves are fairly Twitch-based, where you have to have a fair response time, not really too much lag. So it's going to be interesting, and I think it's going to be a good stress test to see like how efficiently they can function this.
Yeah.
And if it's going to have maybe some of the problems that we've been talking about Google Stadia having, where's your server? Where are you? What's your internet connection? Are you on Wi-Fi? Are you on cellular? Stuff like that. What they did announce was interesting, and they announced a couple different countries it was in. I think it was Australia, UK, maybe some other European countries. I didn't catch it, and then Canada and US. There are certain cell phone providers that they're working with, air quotes, where it seems they're going to have like maybe preferential traffic on those providers. Like they mentioned T-Mobile here in America.
Yeah.
So if you have a T-Mobile phone, you know how they bundle you have unlimited Netflix streaming.
Yes.
I think it might be a similar kind of deal like that they might be fishing for, just to see if they can maybe group it together and get around some of those, hey, we know this is going to eat up a lot of data. Let's see if we can make an agreement to kind of benefit everybody and include this in a bundle or something.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's definitely things they're going to be experimenting with one way or the other. Well, over time, the marketing schemes are going to change again and again for streaming, because there's so many streaming platforms right around the corner.
And not to compare it to Stadia too directly, although we'll probably do that once it launches.
Often.
Yeah. The fact that Microsoft is at least addressing some of those, hey, we understand that this is going to come over, airwaves and tubes and wires, and we're going to address the fact that these are imperfect devices and don't have the best of service. So even if you get some lag and it gives you a little bit of a buffer for if you have a high ping, say on like a cell network or something, I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited to see what's coming out of that. It's going to be an interesting world very soon, because you already got PlayStation with the remote play situation with iPhone and Xperia. I'm dying for them to just release it to all Androids, but it's something that's already been in testing for a while on all fronts. And you got companies all around doing this. And to get it just real quick mention, I'm drawing a blank on his name. One of the directors of management situations over at Google Stadia was on We Have Cool Friends from Kind of Funny.
Okay, I know who you're talking about.
He just got on there.
It's not Phil Harrison, but it's one of the other
No,
guys,
it's one of the main dudes that make sure shit happens for Google Stadia. He did a long-form podcast with Greg Miller for the We Have Cool Friends thing, and I thought it was very interesting and very awesome to hear a genuine conversation from a guy that's right there working with it, saying, oh no, we're good to go. We're ready to go in 2 months, and it's gonna be awesome. He's like, I've gotten to the point where I'm frustrated that the betas have ended for the Assassin's Creed Odyssey, because I'm so used to just having my phone in my pocket, and when I get an internet connection, I can just hop in and enjoy it. He's like, it's a whole different feeling of gaming, and he's like, and I'm he's like, I get some things that I can't really mention, but I wish I had that again, and I can't wait till November.
It's gonna be really awesome to see all that tech roll out in the next year or so, and I think that's gonna be kind of the big battle before the launch of the next gen consoles, because really the next gen consoles are a year to 18 months away, if not longer. But a lot of the streaming services stuff that's coming out, and the improvements to the streaming services, PlayStation Now has slowly been building this massive catalog. I just looked at it the other day, and it was several hundred games. It was 300 or 400 games.
Every company is just going hard behind the scenes. They're not mentioning anything. They're not wasting money on marketing. They're just letting things happen.
And
going down.
With that being said about PlayStation Now, I think definitely with next gen, with PS5 launching, they're going to have the same benefits that Xbox currently has with Game Pass, where I bet you if you have PlayStation Now with a PS5, you can just straight download PS4 games to it, like Bloodborne and all those wonderful games, because they have been slowly adding downloads to PS4. Yeah. But if you do that with PS5, you don't have to dig out your old PS4 discs wherever they are, or if it's already included in your subscription, you're just like, hey, let me try this that I should have tried forever ago but just didn't.
Yep, and you know how many digital games I have that I can't wait to just do that.
We've been through many console launches in our lifetime. We've enjoyed many console launches in our lifetime.
But God, there's a lot of games that I wish I could go back to.
Well, not only that, there's always droughts in a console launch. A console launch, if you're lucky, might have 7 games, 12 games, 14 games.
And now you got all
and of that,
of
you might
games.
only be interested in 2 or 3. You run through your 2 or 3, and then you're waiting 6 months for the next holiday or next quarter until you get a game for it. Well, this way you have a large part of your library just dropped right there. And I think that would be a great use for PlayStation.
At this point, I'm just like, I know they're going to figure it out one way or the other, and I can't wait for games
I think
streaming.
They saw how Xbox made it through this generation on backwards compatibility alone.
Yeah.
Because really, Games Pass was an amazing development for them, and the way they kind of adapted the downloads and really made it flexible and inexpensive, great idea. They wouldn't have even had an audience to do that to if they didn't have buzz from backwards compatibility and bringing everything around. Because when they had backwards compatibility come out, it brought a lot of people that hadn't even touched an Xbox in years back and was like, oh, my stuff works again? Cool.
Yeah, it like I said, and the cross-generational thing that we mentioned before, that is going to be awesome. Having your buddies who can't afford to get a PS5 yet or just haven't really felt the need to, you're still going to be able to play your next Call of Duty game, your next Madden game, your next...
Exactly.
Like, you can still play Fortnite with your buddy on PS5 when you're still rocking your PS4. It's all good. PS4 Pro, PS4, and PS5. All together in one world.
So, to move on a little bit...
but what's up with the inside...
Well, that's what I'm getting back to,
Xbox,
inside Xbox. So they added, as per usual, a bunch of stuff to Game Pass. They took a bunch of stuff off. Well, I shouldn't say a bunch, a few games off. They added Jump Force, which recently came out a year ago or something.
They just keep chucking stuff on
They
there.
do. They keep making deals. There's a couple other things. They have the Ghost Recon Breakpoint beta going on for Xbox right now. I know PlayStation have it for a while ago. So Xbox has it now. They added City Skylines to Game Pass for PC. Saints Row, some games, stuff like that. So cool stuff, but nothing like, world shattering. They did show a little bit more of Code Vein, which was the anime Dark Souls like. It looks cool. Vampires in the future and all kinds of crazy stuff.
Yeah.
It's very anime. Might check it out, might not, depends. But a bunch of stuff coming out. They kind of showed trailers. Some of it we knew about, some of it we didn't. One of the things that I didn't know about that actually looks really good is a game called After Party.
I just saw that on the State of Play as well.
Yeah, it is a game that is from the people that did Oxenfree, and it has that same kind of walking style, dialogue, bubble, multi-choice, so it's
a story-based game.
It is, and it's like a cel-shaded, like 2D, 3D, 2.5D animation style, and I think it looks really good, and for that type of animation style and that type of Telltale-esque story gameplay, I think is a fantastic idea. The premise is that you're in hell, and you find out that there's a way out of hell if you go to Satan's after party and outdrink Satan.
Yeah. I was watching the video. I thought it was really cool and interesting.
Fantastic.
Like, it's such a goofy looking game, but the art style looks awesome, and some of the conversations they were having in the trailer itself were like hilarious. Like,
absolutely.
It's definitely an entertaining story that you're gonna want to like just sit there and enjoy as you're laying back and
they interviewed somebody from the game. I don't know if he was a creative director or something along those lines, somebody that knew what was going on, and he said the game's based around like hell is having the river Styx run through it, like as the main thing that everything's built around, and it's got all these like parts of a city, like neighborhoods, but the neighborhoods are like individual religions' takes on hell. So you might be in the Viking version of hell, or you might be...
That's kind of awesome.
It is, and like you might get to like the Roman version, and it's like all like classic Dante and like all the weird stuff, and then you might get to like the whatever. You pick your version of it. And that's
now I'm interested in the game. I didn't know it was like that.
Certain parts of hell have like a neighborhood feel to it, so it's almost very zonal based. And you apparently have your own personal demon that's assigned to you that like runs around and torments you and tortures you. And it's a very weird dialogue system of like, oh, you coexist in this city with people that are tortured and demons. And like in off hours, you're going to the bar and you're like playing poker with a demon
and hanging out with the devil.
Conversation. And you said sometimes you might want to do weird stuff like insult the demon and like what's going to happen, or maybe flirt with the demon.
I know, and I got you. That sounds like an awesome game though. Yeah, it does.
It looks like it has a lot of potential. So
I'm
very interested in that. That kind of wasn't on my radar. That just popped up.
Yeah.
But they did talk about another game, Atlas, which is coming to Xbox Early Access.
I know the name. I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah, give me a second here. I gotta pull up some information on it. Studio Wildcard. Oh, they did. What was the one with the dinosaurs and you have to build everything? Ark Survival Evolved.
Oh wow. Okay,
they did
so
Ark
another.
Survival
Okay,
Evolved.
is it along the same lines?
More or less. I'm not really finding.
If you know what ARC is, you kind of get the concept. So what's it based in though? Like it's not prehistoric times anymore.
No, it has almost like a colony feel to it, or like a colonial thing.
So okay, interesting.
Yeah, I'm trying to find some more information.
Hey, don't worry
about it.
Don't worry about it. Is there any other notable things coming out of Inside Gaming?
Well, that game had that same
Inside
systems
Xbox?
as ARC. That was the main thing. For the Inside Xbox, they had like a new bundle with Forza and the Lego expansion for Forza 4. Forza Horizon.
Bundle.
Yeah, so I mean that was pretty much it. The
Xbox. Oh man, I don't even know.
They showed off more Outer Worlds. They're all about that coming to Game Pass.
Yeah, and I know Inside Xbox is not this like amazing thing. It's usually an update kind of thing, and a couple like, hey, this is new and this is coming, but nothing major.
They showed a bunch of DLC for like Hitman 2, which looks really cool.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
It was a lot of updates on existing games and trailers for games that are coming very soon.
That's what I'm saying.
So it was almost like a refresher, if that makes sense.
And that's what I mean. Like it's always kind of like that, and that's why I know that is what it is. But it's like I just want to see so much more come from their stuff. Even though I thought the state of play, based off the hype I had for it, was kind of boring. Other than the couple things that I saw that I was like, oh, that's really interesting, cool, and then oh, that's good to know, whatever. And then The Last of Us. I'm just saying that like. The comparison is crazy that every time I feel like there's something that Sony announces that I'm at least excited to look forward to, whereas Xbox is like, oh, we're still doing xCloud, and it's like, okay, cool. Like I don't know, I just not to hate on them. I'm just like I wish I saw more.
No, but it's funny that you say that. They actually addressed that at the end of the stream, where they were like, hey, our next broadcast is going to be at XO19 in London. It's going to be our biggest broadcast ever. So I think that's when.
How many times have I heard that?
Well, it better be their biggest broadcast ever. So
yeah, goddamn right.
Anyway, I have a feeling they're going to launch xCloud at that event.
The beta is October, so when is the event?
I want to say December.
November, December. Well, either way, end of the year. You got a point. If they got beta coming around, they're doing their stress tests.
And not only that, but Phil Spencer has said that there is another part to xCloud, which is a part that PlayStation already has, and he's trying to make it a feature, but without making it like a toot their own horn kind of thing, of streaming from your own console to other devices you own. So it's like the personal xCloud as opposed to the Microsoft server streaming xCloud. So I highly think if the whole xCloud service doesn't launch at that event or around that event, at least that part of it, the personal streaming.
Xbox's remote play. Yeah.
Xbox has been pushing a lot of updates and messing with a lot of experimental features. There was an article going around with some new dashboard interfaces. May have seen some things, and it looks really good, and it might hypothetically feel fantastic. So, it's a much needed refresh to the interface that probably should have came out maybe a year or two ago.
Yeah, I never really enjoyed the OS on there. That's the thing. Xbox is going hard on the software and the hardware stuff. Like they're going big in the background, whereas Sony's going big in the foreground.
This is the quickest I've ever felt of an operating system since like Xbox 360 Blades, like in terms of like a console.
The one you're using
system.
now.
Yes.
Well, yeah, no, I know it's quick. I have no complaints with their vibe or their feeling. It's the cover, like the way it looks. I look at the OS and I go, "Where's my stuff?"
Okay, so
once you learn it, you learn it. I'm just saying.
I recommend you guys go look it up and check it out. But it's more or less your discs, your recents. And then you have a bunch of pins you can make, and it's one page, and that's it.
Thank you. I thought you meant current. The one you were using right now is the best one you've seen, and I was like, what?
No. The
new one you're talking about.
Which one am I using?
You get my point. I was talking about that.
The new one is the nice one. That's
good.
The moral
Thank
of the story.
God, dude.
It's 2 thumbs up buttery.
I'm excited for Xbox's next generation. I really hope to see some cool things come out of there that give me reasons to want to buy an Xbox because I want a fucking Xbox at this point. I
I think that they're doing a lot of operating system side work. They removed Cortana out of the Xboxes.
Yeah, I know.
And I think they're getting ready for the next gen. So the operating system's going to more or less be the same, but they have to have a version of it that's going to be lean and powerful on both. And I think Xbox is doing what Sony had to do at the end of the PS3 and the beginning of the PS4 generation, and being like, hey, we need to make a lean, mean gaming machine. That's what we need to make. That's awesome. It can run Netflix. Everything can run Netflix. Let's play games.
Yeah, they got it now, I think, and I'm excited to see the next generation for both sides. It's coming soon, man. We're getting something soon, and like, speaking more of current times, it just feels like it's getting loaded and loaded and loaded more with games to play. Like, I'm missing out on so much, and I've bought so much, and I'm like.
So I am in the process of trying to decide whether I want to get Fire Emblem for the Switch or if I want to get Zelda Link's Awakening that just launched like 3 days ago.
And then Borderlands. I really want to play that.
Borderlands, from friends who are playing it, I'm getting fantastic reviews. It's more Borderlands, and it's looking 4K and sharp and awesome.
Yes, and people are saying it definitely has that older, like, feeling vibe to it.
I don't want to say older, but classic. I'll go classic.
We could say that. And they were saying issues with like menu systems and small things like that. Nothing ridiculous, nothing like out of pocket, but like the map design or stuff like that, where it's like, I had this problem actually with Control too, but like it's just a map, like, and it's like you got like 20 intersecting branching paths, and you're like, well, shit, like, I wish I had a guidance system so I know what turn to make here. I got a fork in the road, and the map goes straight, like, and bends 40 ways.
And speaking of crazy maps stuff and interesting bending ways, and Zelda, it makes me wonder, we saw about, 9 months ago, that Zelda development has started on whatever the hypothetical sequel, prequel, spin-off for Breath of the Wild was.
Well, Breath of the Wild 2, yes.
Breath of the Wild 2, whatever it might be.
To make it simple.
Yes. So I'm wondering when we're going to get some more information about that, because that's creeping on a year, and for them to put out the video trailer like that, I want to say they already have the engine and a lot of the building blocks in place. So I'm wondering how quick they can turn around a story and get out that game.
I know. Because it's gonna be by next year. I'll either hear a lot more about it or get it.
Well, I wouldn't
the end of next
be surprised, as we've discussed before, if they don't launch some kind of Switch Pro or Switch Plus or slightly higher powered version of the Switch, maybe 1080p handheld screen or something along those lines, to coincide with such a game. Because if you notice, they're really trying to keep this momentum going with launching the Switch Lite and constantly just having these, like, every quarter, every 4 months, they've got another, like, oh, wow, that's a really great game, on top of all the other, like, indie developer stuff on the store. That's great.
We've talked about this a few times. Yeah.
So I think they're really going to try that momentum going, because I think they're almost at 40 million.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe past it. And
they have as many Switches in the wild as hypothetical Xboxes.
Yeah, they've been going real hard the last couple years, and I don't see it slowing down anytime soon.
Xbox hasn't given any hard numbers in a long time, and they're somewhere between, like, some people say 35 million, some people say like 45, 50. It's hard to say. They don't tell you.
Yeah.
But either way, it's gonna be soon that Switch surpasses them.
No, yeah, I'm not surprised at all about that.
I think Nintendo's really trying to keep the momentum rolling.
I mean, you see, like, I already have one. For God's sakes, if I have one, then there's a reason to be playing it.
Another thing that actually was brought up on a podcast I listened to with Colin Moriarty was there hasn't been a 3DS release since like February, and it was a Kirby game.
They're done.
I think they're done.
They just made a Switch Lite.
I 100% think they're done. One of the reasons I think they're done is because the going promo for at least like the past 6 weeks, and it goes away for a little while and then pops up at another store somewhere else, is, hey, if you buy a 2DS, a 3DS, anything in that family, hey, here's a free game. Oh, here's a bundle with a couple of games.
They're phasing it out.
I think they're trying to get rid of inventory and phase it out. So that being said, if you want to get a 2DS or a 3DS for nostalgia or just to replace an old broken one, get it while you can.
Keep an eye out. You'll see a lot of good deals.
I have a feeling that
they just didn't
Amazon will probably have like a Prime Day clearance thing and blow it out for like $100 or something.
They didn't want to admit that they were trying to phase it out. They said we are going to support the 3DS no matter what in this situation, and and then as soon as they announced that they were planning on making, or as soon as leaks came out that they were planning on making other Nintendo Switches, you didn't really hear much about the 3DS after that.
You can get a basic 2DS that comes with a game like New Super Mario Brothers 2 or Mario Kart 7 for $80, and then it comes with a free free 3DS game.
Yeah.
So you're essentially getting a system and 2 games for $80. And those games are $20 for the freebie, and then $30 for the like boxed one that's in it or whatever.
Yeah.
So you're essentially paying $30 for a DS. Which is insane. I'm thinking about grabbing one just for the sake of having one because I got rid of my 3DS. I've bought 3DSs and 2DSs and DSs, DS Lites, DSi. I bought and sold them all so many times over because the DS and that kind of platform is one of those things where I'll be like, hey, that's a game I want to play. They just came out with like a Fire Emblem game or Golden Sun or something. And I'll play it, and then I'll sell the system.
I've seen this coming from a mile away. Everybody said it last year, and they did, and Nintendo swore up and down they wanted to keep supporting it, but they are not. They never planned on supporting it anymore. They knew that the Switch, once it did this well, it was gonna phase that out, and then of course. Now we got the Lite, which is the new pocket-sized Nintendo system. It's that simple.
I got burned in the past. I wanted to buy a PlayStation TV, the PlayStation Vita TV, where it was.
I know what it is. Yeah.
It was $30. It was more or less a Vita that just went with HDMI to your TV. I wanted to get it for $30, and I kept putting it off, and then they ran out, and they kind of just went away everywhere. And now you can find them online for like $150 because
they stopped selling them.
They stopped selling them. They're out of print. You can't find them.
They just don't talk about it.
It's a weird thing that Sony does when a technology doesn't work out or doesn't take off. It just
phases away
out and goes away, like mini disc technology.
And they've got bitched at for that a couple times, and that's why when the Vita started to phase out, they made multiple announcements. Hey, we're stopping game printing now. Hey, this is the last Vita game to come out. Hey, make sure to know no more Vitas are getting printed.
And that's another thing. I was thinking about getting a used Vita, and GameStop sells them very expensive, and so does Amazon.
Yeah,
and I was like, I'm not going to spend $150-something on a Vita. That's a stone's throw away from a Switch Lite.
Oh, no. Yes, you are, if you want one.
I know, that's the problem.
I was thinking about that recently, too, because I was mentioning remote play earlier in the podcast. I'm saying I was looking into trying to figure out how to do that. I could root my phone and make it believe that it has the Sony Xperia data in it so that it will allow me to access remote play. But then if they update it again, then that goes away. Then I have to get the patch update, and it's such a hassle.
Anytime you hack something, it's constantly hacking.
So I didn't feel like doing all that. And then I was like, maybe I'll look at a Vita. And I'm like, no, I won't look at a Vita. I already know what's going to happen, and I'm not going to use it that much. I already have the Switch. Like, what's the purpose? Like, I want to be able to access the stuff on my PlayStation, like, in different places that I have Wi-Fi and have fun and be able to. I know there's a lag and this and that, but I think that would be fun.
Well, maybe,
and while I'm pooping, I really want to be able to play my PlayStation while I'm pooping. I'm sorry.
Thanks for that truth. Buddy.
Can a man get what he needs in life?
On that note, but yeah, that's more or less the news. There was nothing really.
Oh yeah. I'd say that's a pretty. Yeah, that's about it.
Yeah. So, that being said, if anybody wants to comment below, let me know what I should get on the Switch, because I'm trying to decide between Link's Awakening and Fire Emblem, Three Houses, because a lot of people have some real good things to say about Fire Emblem.
Both games.
Yeah.
So, I'm going to say Link's Awakening because it's a 14-hour game to 20-hour game that you can actually beat.
And not only
because
that,
me and you have a compulsion of buying games and absolutely never finishing them. We enjoy the shit out of them. We love them. We talk them up like they're the best thing in the world. And then we move on to another one because we got bored one day with that one. And then you have Games Pass. And I have 2 consoles. You have 2 consoles. And
Yep,
oh my god,
yep.
so many games.
Oh, and PCs. Don't forget PCs.
Oh, by the way, 2 more free games every month. Oh, by the way, you got an SNES now on your Switch. Oh, by the way,
Yeah.
free. Game. And I'm like, so many.
There needs to be a way we can jack in while we're sleeping and play.
Just play. Yeah, dude.
Pokemon Sleep, they solved it!
Ding, ding, ding. Nintendo, you did it again, goddammit. Then I can exercise while playing games. Damn, Nintendo, you got it.
Speaking of that ring thing that's coming out soon. Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
I mentioned that in the last This Week in Geek as well. I brought that up. That's an interesting thing.
It's going to be this generation's like Wii Fit board. It's just
Yeah.
another way to sell Joy-Cons and like, hey, did you know that you should get up and do stuff? Because doing stuff means you're healthy.
Yep, pretty much. Well, glad we got this episode done, though. I've been looking forward to a podcast. Couldn't get one done this weekend, so I'm going to pop this bad boy out as soon as possible and get back to playing some Spyro, I think, because I want to go lay down and chill out and just keep collecting them gems.
Yeah, I think I'm going to run some Gears and see if I can shoot some people. See how that works
you need
out.
to try to get that campaign done. That's what I'm excited to tomorrow. My day is finish editing this, finish editing another video, and then play Control the rest
That's
of
what they were talking about at Xbox Inside thing. It was Dave Bautista. He's in Gears 5 now.
That's interesting.
Well, he's already like that shape. Like if
Yeah,
they were gonna do a
it
Gears
fits.
movie, it would be Dave Bautista.
Why not?
Like,
They're like flipping through the book real quick. Like anyone the shape of a Gears character.
So, if you haven't noticed,
Halo, we can do that. Batista, yeah.
if you haven't noticed with this particular Gears 5, they're just like, yeah, anybody and everybody, let's just throw them in the game in multiplayer.
Dude, Alana Pierce plays 3 different voice actor characters in the game.
I'm not surprised.
Like they're just throwing everybody in there.
They're having fun with it. They have a whole studio making 3 Gears games. I'll even say it. I played Gears Pop for a little while. It wasn't a bad game. I played it for like a week and then deleted it.
I'm
it was
disappointed in that game because I saw a Facebook ad that had a double barrel shotgun that had a pump on it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know where that makes sense, but it literally popped down and loaded from the top. And then it clamped up, and it had he pumped the shotty. I was like, okay.
It's the whole Funko Pop thing.
It was just funny to me. And I forget that some dude commented and said there was something else wrong with it. It was just I was like, oh, I'm so disappointed.
Yeah, but hey, you know what? If you sign in with your
Fun
Xbox
game.
profile, you get achievements.
Fun game's a fun game
And
either
you know
way.
what?
Regardless,
I got achievements on my phone. I did it.
I did it. Phone achievements, dude. I can't wait. Like that concept, what you just said, and like so many more things. I cannot wait for like the full next generation when we are just like, oh, I can play every console anywhere at any time at any point.
And I think they got smart enough to understand that the money's in the service. It's not in the hardware. So they don't have to worry about trying to come out with a Vita 2 or 4 or whatever. They're just like, hey, you own a tablet? Buy a PlayStation controller. We know you love the PlayStation controller.
Yeah.
And then just go ahead and sign in with your login in this service that you pay us for. And you can have our content anywhere you want.
Anywhere you want. All right. That about does it, guys.
Yep.
Enjoy the rest of your day and keep on gaming as always.
Have a good one.
And make sure to like, subscribe. Peace out.
Later.